is breaking news from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Probably wasn't pretty all across the board in all three phases, but as a team, is what we talked about, at the beginning of the week on Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way until that, Sunday night before the meeting. I thought guys did a good job of just sticking with the plan and kind of grinding it out. So, yeah, a lot of emotions there. Just, listen, man, this team's been fighting hard to get one of those wins on the road against very qualified and Super Bowl champs, man. You beat them at their place. That's hard to do.
What does it tell you about the offensive line where they're able to open up holes for Zamir when everyone in the building knows you're going to run the rock?
You get the smile. Best part about it, I said it yesterday in the press conference. When I know that you know, that they know, and everybody know what we're about to do, and we still do it, that's our football. No fair dodging. It is what it is. Strap it up, play. That's football in the month of December. That's what I'm used to. That's what I grew up seeing and watching with the Raiders, myself. That's winning football.
Is he earning more playing time even if Josh comes back?
I think everybody's like, we evaluate everything. As you play, good players play. If you're a good player and you're producing, you're helping us win, you win. But don't get it fooled. I mean, Josh Jacobs is one of the best running backs in the National Football League. And if we got somebody who can help us out and contribute, it's going to be right in that role. And Zeus knows that. It was really good to see him finish the game the way he finished. Very strong, very violent, very explosive. Everything we've been seeing in practice came to fruition yesterday.
Coach, who are some players who did not see a lot of playing time under the previous regime, but you've given them some time? Who are some of those players who have impressed you so far?
Yeah, I mean, start with 51. Start with Mumford. Go with Zeus. Big Mike at tight end. Obviously, Jack Jones. That helped us. Be honest, man, a lot of guys. If you really look at it, this is really the last 3 weeks you've seen the youth of our team, from second-year players to rookies, really step up when their name is called. And let's go through the roster yesterday. Left tackle, second-year player. Left guard, second-year player. Quarterback, rookie. Running back, second-year player. It's just impressive. Jack Jones, second-year player. And then all those third-year players who really haven't contributed a lot, like Malcolm Kuntz, really coming along and just being, dominant now, back-to-back weeks. Wow, right? Wow. And when you have a guy like Max Crosby on defense, you just waited for somebody. We've been waiting. Who's going to be that guy, to step up and man, look, this guy's getting double, triple team. You got the one-on-ones, buddy, and you got to win them. And he's done that, and he's been an outstanding job. So, I can go on and on with that list, but I think those are some of the key players there that stood out.
Coach, to that point, what can you say about the growth and development of Nate Hobbs?
Man, Nate's explosive, the maturity. We've moved him around quite a bit here in the last 2 years, over the last 2 years. Corner, star, nickel, and he really makes his money inside. He's a very violent football player. He's explosive. He can tackle in space. He can cover. He's a good blitzer. I think when you look at Nate, I think it's just the game slowing down for him. He's playing a position where he has a whole route tree, right? They can do anything they want. He's going against, most of the time, one of the better receivers in the league because you find a way to get your top guy inside. And he's done an outstanding job for us of playing man, zone, and blitzing. Again, that's going to go credit to the coaches, for seeing that. And, okay, what's the best for the player? I know what we might want. I know what the world wants. Well, what's best for the player and the team? And put him inside and him really spending extra time in his film study and then working on his craft on a practice field is what I really appreciate because he really, really practices the right way.
Coach, going into the week, Jack Jones said, "You stop the magician, the act is over." How much do you think the pass rush on Mahomes benefited the coverage and also vice versa?
Yeah, I would love to see that Gen stat with Mahomes and how much ground he traveled in coverage yesterday because when you can rush and cover the way we did yesterday, it goes hand in hand. We've been talking about it. You hear every coach talk about those two things playing together and one. But when you look at our secondary and the way they've had to cover now in that game, especially for 4, 5, 6 seconds and still be able to be, matchy or on a body, I thought was really impressive. What was more impressive was the guys up front being relentless and not stopping. Did we always hit Patrick? No. Did we always get him on the ground? No. Was it always perfect? No. But it was relentless. It was 60 minutes of it.
Over 1,000 yards, by the way.
That's what I thought. That's not the world he wants to live in. right? We understand that, right? So I'm glad you got that. I don't know. Can you send that? Where did you get that from? I seen it somewhere. Yeah, listen. I know you had all the scribbly lines. Listen, not what we really thought it was going to be, but that's what we wanted it to be, and it worked out. Yes, sir.
You used the playoffs as any kind of cure with the team?
Nope. Colts. That's how we've been focusing. What's in front of us, I can't control 2024, and that's in 2024. I'm in 2023 right now.
Antonio, what is kind of the sentiment you had towards your players when there was like this sentiment around the league, how they perform in that Christmas Day game is going to have a lot to do with if they keep Antonio Pierce going forward. What do you think of that?
That's out of my control, out of their control. Only thing we control is what we do on the grass and how it looks. And I'm going to keep saying it. As long as it looks right, sounds right, and smells right, I'm fine with it, win, lose, or draw. And I'm going to be me, and they're going to be them. And when this bad boy's over with, hopefully it all works out and we're together for more years to come.
Coach, obviously you'll be considered for the permanent position. How will you make your case to Mark Davis in terms of saying, I'm the man?
My resume's on the grass. Which one? I can put up a fancy presentation. I've seen that before. I can put up stats. I can put up my resume. But the best thing that happened for me was opportunity. And like I said this maybe last week, the worst day I was going to be as a head coach was my first day. And these days, my job, and I really take pride in growing each and every day to get better. No different than when I was a player, to get better. And by the end, you look at it, whatever your career was and whatever my coaching career is, that you sit there and say, look, this is what he was. And hopefully Mark Davis sees improvement and growth within our team. He sees the style and play that he wants from the Raiders. He sees a fan base that's behind us. He sees a building that loves coming to work and loves being here, and people that's covering the team, enjoying covering the team. And at the end of the day, we got to win. And right now, our record is 4-3.
What role will be beating Kansas City play in that, do you think?
Oh, so we're 2-1 in the division. Beating those guys at home. How many times has that happened in the last 25 years with the Raiders? Does anybody know?
Not much. I don't know the exact number.
Less than a handful, right? So let's go 3. Most of those guys were, gurus. Not a defensive coach who never did it before, right? And did it a certain way, right? Did it our way, right? The Raiders' way, right? He'll figure that out.
In what ways do you feel like you've already grown in the job since day one? And do you have to look at football in a different way than you ever did before as a head coach?
You're dialed in 60 minutes. Players, coaches, calls, situations. At first they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just worried about situations. Oh, okay, what's the call offensively? Then you worry about situations. Okay, what's the call defensively? It's just being dialed in. It's an emotional and a mental roller coaster, to be honest. I don't care who you are. You're not prepared for this until you do it. And then when you do it, you get better and better. And obviously the ones like we went against yesterday, he's really good. Andy Reid. And you got the ones that's been exceptional and doing it for a long time. You take your hats off to him, and you want to be that guy one day, right? You want to have 200-300 games underneath your belt. But it takes time, man. And I would just say this, that I lean on the people that have been there and done that for expertise and ways I can get better. But for me, overall, it's just a constant growth and no different than my journey of life. Just keep going with it.
What do you say to Aidan after a day like yesterday?
Good win. The best thing he did yesterday? He took a knee 3 straight plays. Victory formation, best play in football, undefeated.
How much does his temperament, when you're a kind of a low maintenance guy, humble, the team will keep playing hard for you when you're not having your best game? Yeah,
this is gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna say it because I can relate. It's Eli, man. It's like you good? Yeah, I'm good. No, like you're good. Second quarter, yeah, I'm good. Third quarter, fourth quarter, we ain't complete the ball yet. You good? He's still good. That shocked me yesterday, because I wanted to see if I was gonna see that look in his eye. But he understood it was a team game, and yesterday wasn't his day, and the rest of the team carried him, and that's fine. That's okay. There's gonna be days where this young man is gonna have opportunity to carry a team in this organization, and we're gonna lean on him elsewhere. So to have that, I call it poker face and that even kill. That's fine. I don't need him to be AP. Don't have that fiery. Don't be passionate. Don't be going crazy and getting bleeped every 5 minutes. Don't do that. No. Just be nice and calm and under control and manage the game and don't turn the ball over.
Even though, he was active, but he didn't play the majority of the game, how big was it for Colton Miller to come in for Jermaine on that last minute and kind of set up the victory formation?
Yeah, really shocking. When it happened, I just looked around, looking for the offensive line coach and Cam, and all right, who's going in? I just saw the 6'8" dude running, to grab his helmet. I'm like, what is he doing? Because we're trying to take care of him, be smart. And he said, I'm ready. What I'm going to say, I just fell back, and I watched. And that's what you expect out of a leader, a captain on your team. When the game's on the line, his name wasn't even called. His number wasn't even called. He called it himself, and I'm going to fall back and watch. And that's what we did.
How much does that tell you about your team, that everyone's willing to sacrifice, even though they're not healthy? You didn't have to call him. He was ready for the assignment.
I mean, it goes even to Josh Jacobs right before the game. I mean, I thought he was going to play. He thought he was going to play. He couldn't play. And it was in the best interest that he didn't play. And that's what I'm going to do. It was in the best interest of the players. But it just shows, man, you know, I remember this question was asked, maybe not to me, but one of our players, what are we playing for? And it's kind of disrespectful. You know, what are you here for? Why are you here working? Why are you covering us? It's your job. You get paid to cover. We get paid to play. Got 17 games, 18 weeks. It's our job until, you know, there's nothing left, and then we go in off season. So what it shows you is guys that love football. We got guys that love football here, that are passionate about it, that got pride about it, that have, you know, a sense of commitment to their family and to this organization, and that you respect.
2 straight games of defense scoring twice,
Man.
which is pretty.
When is that? Okay, when is the last time that happened?
First time in over 10 years.
In Raiders history. Never. Question. Come on now. Come on. You don't have all that on. Don't know yet. Come on, trivia. Throw it right back at you.
What are you cultivating at practice? That are you stressing that or
Yeah, I do it with our offensive players. When you touch the ball, touch the end zone. I was fortunate to play with some really good football players in my career, and there's a couple that just every time they touched it, they went to the end zone offensively. And then some defensive players that did the same thing. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's. And then they will go back, maybe miss a play, and then come back and take the third play or so. And that just creates a habit. And if you really, I know you guys can't watch practice the whole time, but if you were to watch our practice, you would see that throughout. That it don't matter if it's a kickoff, punt, interception, fumble recovery, that guy's going to run into the end zone, and the next man comes in, and we just keep rolling. And that's just great habits, man. Muscle memory. You know, how do you do something? Well, you do it consistently, and then when it turns into reality, you sit there and smile. You get slimed on Nickelodeon.
Michael Strahan said on the broadcast that you're doing with this team what you did with your team that you guys won a ring with. What does that mean when a guy like Strahan's talking about you on national TV like that?
That's the GOAT, man. It's Big Brother right there. You know, it was hard to go to New York when you had a personality like that in front of you and next to you. But we always made a pact. We were always the last two in the tunnel, shaking hands and welcoming everybody in and out of the tunnel. And Stray knows how much he means to me and how much I mean to him. It's just respect. I mean, here's a guy who did at the highest level in one city, in the biggest city for a long time, went out on top, and he's doing really well off the field. And he's a guy that, you know, regardless that he's not in coaching, you really model yourself after of how he carries himself as an individual.
Is there anything Max reminds you of Michael at that position, or?
Man, Max different now. Me and Big Mike talked about that now. What I would say is consistency. I didn't believe it when I first got here. They said, man, Max is going to do that every day. I'm like, no way. There's no way this guy can have that kind of juice each and every day and be bouncing off the walls. And damn, he does, man. Like, it's crazy. I've never seen nothing like it. I mean, and, you know, you always hear that. No, literally. You know, Marvin Lewis was here. He said, I've never seen nothing like it. I said, I told you. This guy just doesn't stop. And that's consistency. That's what you see in guys that would eventually at some point wear a gold jacket.
Your thoughts on the Colts?
Physical football team. They came here last year, got after us pretty well. We're going to expect their best football. Obviously, they're good up front. Both sides, right? O-line, D-line, we got to deal with. Big running back. We saw that last year. It wasn't pretty for us. And, you know, quarterback, we got to be careful with this guy. You know, he's tricky, and he's tricky good. And he's done a really good job for them, really just coming in and just – you can't even tell, like, is he a backup? You wouldn't know. You know, I think he's been starting since day one, the way he's playing, the way the team plays around him. Well-coached team, obviously. Their defensive staff knows our players very well. And they run a very good scheme for their team. It's going to be a physical game. We got to get, you know, it's 24-hour rule. You know, it was a great plane ride home on Christmas Day. But today's December 26th. And we're getting ready to play these boys on New Year's Eve, and that's going to be fun.
That's good.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
You've been watching Breaking News from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.